Hey, welcome to the Connect podcast. I'm Cole Phillips, and this is my beautiful wife, Pam. Pam, so glad that you're with me again.
Thanks for inviting me back.
We're making this a habit now, especially when we're in this season we're calling Rooted Romance. So Pam and I, we want to have a rooted romance. And I thought we would start by just talking about some of the victories that we have been experiencing in 2026. So far, we're basically a month into this thing, right? And so we're moving along in 2026.
Yeah, a little more than a month, but
yeah.
A lot. We packed in a lot.
It's going by fast. I think we've already seen 30 people go public with their faith in Jesus through baptism. So we're seeing that happen. Last week was an especially busy week. We had a powerful week. We had night of worship, both in Buda and in San Marcos for the first time. So that was great, and it was a packed house and powerful night. But then we had Galentine's night for girl time. Yeah. And you brought, from everything I heard, I had to cut out during your message, but I heard it was powerful with the disco ball.
Yeah, it was fun. I like to use a visual. It helps me. I think it helps everyone else. We had a great night.
You're really good at bringing the creative elements.
I try, but close to 350 women. So it was a really fun night here at Galentine's. And then that led us into
Men of Steel
on Saturday.
Yeah. Frankie Mendoza brought an incredible message to the men. And then we had prayer on Saturday night and then our services on Sunday. So on Sunday, we talked about growing strong through the seasons of marriage, being rooted through all the seasons. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I think it resonated with a lot of people as people were able to identify the season they were in and understand that it's normal to go through seasons. Seasons aren't about your calendar. They're about your connection. And so everybody can identify that season. We don't need to compare the season we're in with somebody else's season. And that's really tempting because we get on social media and we have the FOMO or the comparison game. Must be nice.
Yeah.
Look at what they're doing and look at how he's treating her.
Yeah.
We put our highlight reel on social media, and then we don't realize that everything's not always what it appears to be. I hope it is. I hope everybody's doing great, but we know firsthand from the church that many marriages struggle. It is a struggle.
That's one of the reasons that we, talk about this, yearly, because we know that people are dealing with harsh realities in their marriage, and it's not always the right season, and so it's a necessity to talk about these things.
Yes. Marriage is so central to the family. Family is so central to the community, to the culture, to the world. As the family goes, so goes so many other things.
That's
and
right.
So we have an important responsibility to come alongside marriages. And where else do you get this kind of training or help? What the culture says can be just crazy when it comes to advice for marriage. And that's where most people are living. That's where most people are getting their cues from. So we want to give them what does God's word say?
Yeah.
Going through this Song of Solomon, which has been several years since I've gone through Song of Solomon, and I like hanging out in that book.
Yeah, I especially like it that it's interpreted to mean the best song. And right, is that right?
That's
the best
right.
Song. And whenever you share that or say that, it makes me, feel a certain way. It makes me feel happy because I feel like music has been so central to the theme of our marriage and our life. And So I think it's cool to think about that God is writing the best song with you and I, and with so many other people. That's
Yes.
what I think about.
That song is not all just happy, happy, joy, joy all the time. And there's ups and downs, and there's real tension. I think there's actually beauty in the brokenness. God is able to do something. If it was easy, it wouldn't be so emotional in a sense, because when you see a marriage that has really stuck it out over the years, they've been through some stuff, and that's what really moves my heart to know that it's a picture of faithful commitment, like the Lord is committed to us.
Yeah. Hey, so just for funsies, as we move into the next section, a lot of people have a song as a couple. What would you say our song is as a couple?
We've had a couple songs, several songs over the years, particularly back when we were starting out and dating. One of them is the Van Morrison song that was covered not as well by Rod Stewart, that goes, "Have I told you lately that I love you?
Yeah.
Have I told you there's no one above you?" Yeah, so good. So good. And then also we had another song. Oh, I'll sing them. I'm going to, I don't know much, but I know I love you.
Okay.
Aaron Neville and Linda Ronstadt. I don't know much.
Y'all are getting a good show today.
So that was one of our songs. You remember that? Don't know much.
Yes.
And more recently, yeah, those are good. We'll just go with that. We'll just go with that. Love it. Love it. So I've got a lot of other songs that make me think of you.
Sure.
Yes.
You associate lots of things with songs.
Yes. A lot of couples think they're the only ones who are going through winter. And it turns out that it's normal to be in a winter season. You don't want to stay there any longer than you have to. But when you're in one, it's okay. God is working, and we're going to kind of unpack those seasons again so that we can talk about them. And what we're talking about today isn't just theory. We're talking from our own experience and from our own marriage and why we're still here today. Let's get into spring, because that's a season of hope and a vision, and everyone goes through spring to begin with. You're in a spring season. You could think of it as the honeymoon season. Oh, I wanted to talk about that. Let's tell them about our experience of our honeymoon. So here's what happened. I'm going to go all the way back and say we got married, and back in the day when you got married, you really didn't have the kind of parties that they have now. The reception.
Coming up on 35 years of marriage. And so, yeah, things looked different. I mean, now you have a full out party, like dinner, DJ, dance, all the things. Like that's kind of the expectation. Well, back then
it was a reception with cake.
People did have those things, but those were people who like
spent a bunch of money.
Had a lot of money, and that wasn't the expectation really. It was have a nice ceremony, and then you have a reception with cake and lunch, or whatever kind of family you are. But and then it was and have a little receiving line, and then you leave.
So during the reception, I remember I didn't even eat any of the cake, right? We did the thing where we shoved the cake in each other's mouth.
Piece of cake. You didn't.
It was like a taste.
Ate it, but you didn't like sit down and eat a piece of cake, because we were taking the pictures and we were doing all the things, and that's kind of, I guess you didn't understand what your role was at the reception. So
then we went outside. We got in a limo and we went to Dallas to an Embassy Suites.
Yes. Now we were young, 20, 21. we didn't have a lot of money. Our parents did pay mostly for our wedding and all that, but
they weren't paying for our honeymoon.
No. But
right.
we were responsible for everything else after that. So, so we
went to Embassy Suites, and we were hungry.
Yeah.
So we called room service and we split a cheeseburger.
Yes, because it was expensive.
And then the next morning, we were going to drive down to San Antonio for our big honeymoon.
Yes, from Dallas.
And that was where what we thought was big time was going to San Antonio. I just wish I'd known better. I just wish I had a clue and knew that people actually went places for their honeymoon. I didn't know. And so we went down to San Antonio, and we had this incredible reservation. What was the name of the hotel?
It was at the Sheraton Gunter.
The historic Gunter Hotel right on the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
And somehow we had booked, and you might tell the story better than me, I know, we had 2 separate reservations.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but one of them was...
We were double reserved. Like we were going to stay there for sure.
The problem was one of them was credit card reserved, and somehow I tried to cancel one of the reservations, and I inadvertently canceled the credit card reserved reservation. So
by the time we got there, our reservation was gone. So they turned us away. The inn was full.
Yes. So this was before the day of having a cell phone in your pocket and being able to kind of look up another hotel and make an online reservation, figure that out.
So we had to drive around San Antonio.
Drove around looking for a hotel that A, we could afford, and B, that had a room available, and that
wasn't terrible.
Wasn't a roach motel.
And the first one we went into that we did stay at that night was really nasty.
It was not great.
So we ended up finding another hotel along the way the next night and the rest of the time. And I think we went to SeaWorld.
We did go to SeaWorld. Yes.
Yeah. So that was
before it was kind of fully developed, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we went to SeaWorld and we went to the Riverwalk and some things like that. It was great. I have some regrets. Could have been better, but hey.
That was our honeymoon.
That was it.
So, but we were together, young and in love, and trying to figure out and navigate through the world as best as we could. We had big expectations of our honeymoon, and it didn't quite turn out like we thought.
And I think we literally went back the next week and started our classes at college.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, we would have. Yeah, for sure.
It was crazy. But
and we moved into an apartment in Arlington.
Uh-huh.
And this apartment was all bills paid.
Yes.
And it would cost us, I'm trying to remember, I think it was $395.
Something like that, $400
a month, if you can imagine, and all bills paid.
Yes. So we were full-time students, and we had part-time jobs and several part-time jobs. So I was going back into my junior year of college. Cole was going back into his senior year of college. And it was an interesting moment in time. So
during that time, you say the jobs, I was a youth minister at a church.
Yes.
And I was part-time. I worked at a Christian bookstore. I worked in, I don't know if that time, I was also substitute teaching.
Yes.
I know I was doing that.
We didn't have school on Fridays. Our university at that time only had classes Monday through Thursday. And so on Fridays, you would take any substitute job that they would give you in the school district. A lot of times they would call you for a music teacher job, which you really loved.
Yeah, that was fun.
But you would do that on Fridays to make extra money.
Yeah. So several, and whatever we had to do, that's what we were doing.
Yes.
So working hard, but just like the honeymoon was big expectations, and then the reality, our marriage was like that as well. It was big expectations, and we were just trying to figure out, how do we do this, and how do we function as a married couple.
Yeah.
And we didn't feel like we had a lot of support. What was really hard about it was, I feel like we're just sort of, but there's the beauty in the brokenness, because I was a youth minister, and it was kind of tenuous at best, even in this youth ministry position, whether or not they wanted me to be their youth minister. I didn't feel the freedom to tell anyone that we were struggling.
Yeah.
That
was really difficult.
Had issues, or ask questions, or what do we do about this, or
we needed a mentor.
How do we handle this?
Yeah. We kind of felt like we were supposed to know all the answers and have it all together because we were leaders. But if you're young and married, or even not young and first married, you don't have all the answers, and you don't have it all together, and you haven't lived enough life to figure all of this out. So
we were really the first of our friends to get married as well.
They kind of all followed after, got married, kind of domino after us. But yeah, it was a tough moment. Schedule's busy, life busy, and not a lot of mentoring personally. So we spent a lot of time figuring things out, working things out.
We knew that we were that Jesus was what our lives revolved around, and who our lives revolved around. And so we knew we had to figure it out, and we had to work it out. And he definitely kept us together then, as he has done through all the years. And having that vision of something, that our marriage was about something more than just us. It's about the mission that God had given us as a couple.
Yeah, I feel like that's totally the foundation for why we stay together. I think you were talking about in spring that there's this sense of hope, and it's the honeymoon phase. And I felt like that faded pretty quickly for us. The first year of our marriage was very hard, making all these transitions, making all these adjustments. It wasn't super easy. It might have been easier for you, but it was very hard for me. And I think the only thing that really kept us moving in the right direction is that we love Jesus, and we both felt called to ministry. And so we had that shared mission that helped us stay on course.
Well, also, I'm thinking I went straight from my mom to my wife, and I was not going to cook. I was not going to do my laundry. Some of the things that I just hadn't figured out yet.
Yeah, and we should have
clarified some roles. Sure,
but we didn't. So yeah, we did some things not so well, but yeah.
So let's talk about summer. Moving into summer.
I think it kind of, spring went right into summer very quickly for us.
Because I was saying, we had those jobs, and you were working in Dallas and going to school, and you were still in Glowing Heart at the time.
No,
you weren't.
No,
okay.
I had gotten out of. I was in a ministry, music ministry at college, and I stopped that like 2 months before we got married. So that wasn't really another factor. But when you're a youth pastor, there are a lot of expectations to do things nights of the week. So we're either working.
You were also working when we were married. You were working at another Christian bookstore. You were working at Joshua's during some of that.
I was working at Joshua's, and then I started also cleaning houses. So we did so many things to try.
This is good. This is good, because this one house that you cleaned the owner owned a chain of barbecue restaurants.
Didn't own it,
Not own, ran.
He was a manager.
So Coulter's Barbecue. And so you got paid in Coulter's credit.
Yeah, basically like gift cards before there was really gift cards. It was like a little card that said you get 2 free meals or, whatever.
So we were living off of that. We would go out to eat.
Get to go eat barbecue in return for me cleaning people's house. So
now, one of the things that we did, and perhaps we did right, I don't know for sure, but instead of just immediately having kids, we waited and we thought we want to wait until we were out of school, and
which was never. We were never out of school.
Sure.
There was a lot of school.
Yes, but we had a window where we waited, but then once we moved down to this area, the Austin area, and we're in Wimberley, that's where we had our kids.
So we waited 6 years to have children, which I don't regret that at all, because I feel like it took us a while to kind of to have a game plan for life to kind of even out a bit. Another transition I had made during that time was I did graduate from college and then immediately started teaching school, and I felt like, oh man, we're really making money now, like we've finally got some financial stability a little bit.
And we weren't really making that much money, but we were making it. And I don't know if I would recommend that to everyone, because I do want you to get married and have kids.
I think that's so important.
But for us, it was kind of, I think about my parents who were 20 years old when I was born.
Yeah.
And how they were kids themselves. So they're kids raising kids. And
yes, but they had a different course to their life.
Yeah.
We were still doing school. So I feel like we couldn't have been good parents with the way we had thought through what we wanted to do in our life. So I'm happy we waited all that time so that we could kind of get a little more stability, and that way we could focus a little more on being parents instead of trying to be newlyweds and parents and all the things at one time.
Yeah. And one of the things that we've done in the busyness of the kids and the ministry and all the things that we've done is we have always tried to prioritize some things and get with the priorities, and making time to make memories with our family.
Yes.
Has always been one of the things. Yes. Just spending time together and investing in the kids. And then at the same time, I would say trying to prioritize not getting all wrapped up in the kids' extracurricular things, that we set some boundaries on that.
Yeah, we thought it was important for our kids to do the things, basketball,
softball.
Yeah, the extra things. But we put
they did dance.
But we put some boundaries on those things because we didn't want those things to be the thing that drove our family life. We definitely didn't want our kids to miss out, but we were not willing to sacrifice who our family was and the core mission of our family on the altar of all the extra stuff.
Yes, because what they tell you, they see your little soccer star or softball star, and they say, hey, you could be on this select team and the travel team. And then, of course, that's more money. But they also, many times, they will play on Sunday morning.
Yes.
And so we were saying, well, if you're playing on Sunday morning, that's not going to really work.
Yeah, with our schedule. And we just had to decide, pretty soon, who do we want our kids to be, and how do we shape that? And so, yes, we want our kids to be involved in extracurriculars. We want them to be well-rounded. We don't want them to just be in the church bubble, but we are not willing to sacrifice all of that for creating missionaries. So we had to make some decisions early on about that. So yes, summer got busy pretty quick, and I would say that that we have spent a lot of years in summer being busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes.
And when you're busy like that constantly, some things are going to suffer. Yes.
So, can you think of a particular time where a specific time where you say it was really difficult?
Well, I don't really remember the years. But I would say when we started the Connection Church in 2004, and then we were portable for 6 years. So that led us to 2010. And all those years were super busy and super hard and super stressful. But then in 2010, we found a building and we decided to do something really, really crazy and lead our church to build this space out on our own. And everybody has their own life going on. They don't have just like days and weeks to spend somewhere building something out. That left kind of you and I to figure out how to build a building and make that work. And so I would just say, like, from 2010 to, I don't even know.
Well, we were doing this from, we started working on the building in February of 2010. We moved in on July 4th of 2010. So those months in particular were very intense. The kids were in school. You were teaching.
Yeah.
In Austin.
And then we would come straight here every night.
And we still had all the normal church things going on. And at the same time, we were doing construction. So it was really...
Even after we moved in here, like, it was still...
Sure, it wasn't just it wasn't finished when we moved in. We still had so many things. In our kids ministry area, we didn't even have air conditioning, and it was the middle of the summer.
Yeah. So all of that stress then ended up at home, like, every day. And it was just stress after stress after stress doing that. And we weren't connecting well. We weren't communicating well. Our focus was not so much on our family. I remember after we finally moved into the building, I thought in July, I can't go back to work and teach another year at school and get my kids back into school without, like, at least spending some time with them.
Yes. We went up to Dallas.
Out here, and we went to Great Wolf Lodge. We took them to Great Wolf Lodge.
Yes. And we saw a Skillet concert.
Yes. So we spent,
so good.
We had just like a short little shot of a moment to, like, transition. And so that was good, but felt a bit of resentment because I felt like everything was focused this direction. It wasn't focused on family life or on marriage life. And
well, we talked about this the other day. We would try to go see a movie, and I'd get a phone call in the middle of the movie, and it wasn't just a normal call. It was something that was related to some contractor and some big issue that we had to deal with right then.
Yes. So it was all very frustrating, and it really was a big, huge moment when things felt off.
Well, we're going to call this season fall.
Okay, yeah.
Because we were falling off, but no, fall doesn't mean falling down. It means that you realize there's trouble brewing. There's some issues. If you don't attend to them, then they're going to become something deeper and bigger. Yeah. So I know I'm thinking of after that, when we went to the Weekend to Remember, was not long after that, the one where somebody actually had broken into the church while we were gone, right? And left some dogs or something. They left some dogs in the church
building, on the back side of the building, and they broke in, knocked a hole in the wall to get into our space, stole some musical instruments, and they left their dog in the building. I don't know if it was an accident or on purpose to get rid of the dog, but it just seemed impossible for us to focus on anything else but church life and everything that was happening with the building, and then shepherding people even during those moments.
Sure.
So yeah, fall came and it stayed. And you talked about all those little foxes.
The little foxes.
Yeah, there were lots of little foxes. And they were running rampant.
Distractions, we say. They're distractions.
Yeah. And you even talked about on Sunday with them getting into the roots, right? Chewing up the roots of.
Well, and one of the things that I said that I think is especially convicting of myself is when I talk about sarcastic words, because sarcasm is sort of a natural language for me. It's, it's a gift. It's something I inherited from my dad. And so I'm really good at
that generational curse.
I'm really good at that
moment.
But yes, sarcasm is an issue, I think, for me.
Yeah, it is an issue. And then that, will spin me off. And I realize that my tone can change very quickly. And I can go from what I think is a normal tone to pretty outrageous. And I don't even really realize that I'm doing it, except in my brain, I just think, oh, I'm passionate about this.
Well,
like
you're
this
also
means something to me.
You're also a natural teacher. Like, you're just a teacher. Like, that's a good thing. But teachers have sort of a tone sometimes.
Sure. And I will take a teacher tone, and I have to think about those things. And when you're in the moment, you're not really thinking, oh, I've got to control this. You're just thinking, oh, I want to get my point across, or I want to spin this so it's you. I don't know if you're thinking, I want this to change the tone to something lighter. And so you'll use your sarcasm, or you'll try to be funny.
Haven't you ever heard of a joke?
Yeah. You'll try to be funny. Yeah. And I'm not receiving that well at all. I don't normally laugh.
So as I am going to, we'll talk about conflict in this series coming up. And so the rules of engagement, as I like to call them, that we do need to practice. But little things build up if you don't address them. And I think that just kind of leads us into the winter, because winter is the time that you've got to stick it out. You got to persevere and not give up.
Yeah.
And as I say, is you take the escape hatch and you weld it shut. Yes. We Pam and I will say this. We'll say that we've taken the D word off the table. We don't threaten with divorce now, murder sometime.
Yes.
Not really.
We do
No.
Leave each other, mostly because no one else would probably have either one of us, because I don't know, I'm just too difficult to deal with, but also because that's just not an option for us. Cole did come from a family that
was divorced, yes, when I was 12 years old.
And so that, I think, alone is the reason why he's committed to not walking through that again in his life. And my parents were married for 65 years. And so not a perfect marriage, but a loyal and committed marriage. And so I think that is a reason why I have just said, we're going to be together, and we're going to work it out. We're going to stick with it. Yeah.
And one of the things I said was, you've got to act your way into a new way of feeling and do the things that you did at first. That's from Jesus' letter in Revelation, where he says, I have this one thing against you. You've left your first love. Go back and do the things that you did at first. And those first actions produce those first feelings. And you can do that again. You can begin to serve one another. You can begin to do those small things and rebuild. So, and I would also say, getting help getting help. And we've done some counseling along the way.
Yeah, I think that fall season then led us into that moment, a moment of winter. And I remember just even something so simple that kind of got blown up out of proportion because we had been in that hard fall season, and then that just led us into winter. It was a silly thing about shoes.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
Oh yeah, that's great.
And we ended up in counseling, and it wasn't really about shoes. It was about a lot of other things. And we spent a little bit of time in counseling, um, and it wasn't. I wouldn't call it a quick turnaround out of winter. I would say all of life's demands kept happening. Things kept going. There were a lot of hard things, and we stayed in winter for just a good bit. But I think the beautiful thing about winter is quit.
Mm-hmm.
We never quit.
That is beautiful.
We never just went totally cold with each other, and we never decided to put our hands up and surrender and say,
"That's right,
we just can't make this work."
Yeah,
and walk away. So, yeah.
So God is faithful to us, and so we want to be faithful to each other and model that to the world. But we do have the opportunity to speak into the lives of a lot of younger couples, and so I wonder what we would tell. What would you tell to newlyweds, based on what you know and what you know now?
Well, I would say number one, you should always have premarital counseling.
Yeah,
we did not have premarital counseling because we were already serving in ministry positions. I think people assumed we had it all together. We understood what we were getting into. We were pretty mature young people. I don't know that premarital counseling was as big a thing as I feel like it is now.
Yeah.
And so we did not have premarital counseling, and I have deep regrets about that because neither one of us really understood everything that we were getting into with marriage. We just knew we loved each other. We had a shared mission, and we had dated for 4 years already, and we were ready to take that next step with each other.
Yeah. And that's great. That's the best advice. I think also just thinking about the words that we say are so important, because once you put it out there, you can't take it back. I remember hearing a story about one of the deacons at one of the churches that we served at, where this guy had mistakenly called his wife a not so nice name, called her a name. Yeah, it's a mistake. It's 100% a mistake. And he said, he made some comment about it, like, I didn't realize that it would cause so much trouble or whatever. You can say, when you attach a label to someone, it sticks. It stays, and that's so personal. And so just be so careful. You may think something, don't you catch that before it comes out of your mouth, because those words are so harmful and so deadly and so hurtful. So you want to speak life into your spouse and not speak the things that will cut them down and tear them down.
Yes,
so
you could spend the rest of your life trying to remove that.
And you say, but I didn't mean it, but you said it.
From your brain. Cole is never name called, but there have been things that he's just kind of said along the way, and I've adopted them, and years later I'll say, you said da 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 da, and you'll say, I don't ever remember saying that, or I was just a kid, I had no idea what I was saying, I had no idea what that actually meant. I think especially women will hold on to those things. And so, yes, you have to be very careful.
So the reason that seasons don't destroy covenant love is because covenant love reflects Jesus. And we know that marriage is a picture of the commitment that Jesus has to his bride, the church. And so Jesus doesn't walk away from us at our worst times, when we choose to walk away from him sometimes, and he stays. He's faithful. The Rascal Flatts song, "He ain't the leaving kind."
Can you just quickly tell people the difference between covenant and contract? Because I don't think people understand it, and it can be a hard concept because we live in a contractual culture, a contractual world.
Yes, you get a contract when you get a phone. And the idea of a contract is, here's my responsibilities and here's your responsibilities in this contract. And if one person violates the contract, then the contract is broken. But in a covenant,
and we can get out of it.
Yeah, in a covenant, there's no out. There's essentially, in Scripture, a covenant was made when you would literally take the pieces of a dead animal, a carcass, and you would cut them in half, and the parties would walk down the middle between these two pieces of animal, and you were essentially saying, may what happened to this animal happen to me if I break this covenant. And so it's a life or death situation. Life is on the line, that you say, I'm in this no matter what.
And it takes both people living up covenant.
It does. But if one doesn't, that doesn't nullify the covenant. Think about the symbolism of a wedding where you walk down the center aisle. That is supposed to be the picture of the walk of death, of that covenant walk that you're walking, and you're saying, I'm in this for life, and you stand before God and you say, till death do us part.
It's not about the party or the dress.
Yes. And so yes, and you're in it, and we don't take it very seriously as we should. And so that's why people have commitment issues today. They don't commit to anything, much less a marriage. And yet God calls us to commit and to do this differently. And there's such value and such beauty in staying. When you walk out of a marriage, you end up taking, even if the problem is 1% you and 99% them, you end up making it that much harder. In fact, the divorce rate of second marriages is much higher than the divorce rate of first marriages. Divorce rate of third marriages is higher than second marriage. So you're not learning. You think, I've got this figured out and I'm going to do it better this next time. The actual numbers say, no, it actually compounds. Yeah. So we say that your best chance for the happiness that you are looking for is actually found in the marriage that you are currently in. So stay rooted. Yeah. So let me ask you this. Love summer more, you or me?
Oh, I would say you probably do.
I still feel like a kid when it comes to summer.
Yeah, I don't look forward to it. It's sweaty and hot, and I just want to be in the air conditioning, and I don't really enjoy wearing shorts. There are a lot of reasons, but yes, you're the summer dude.
Well, as we move through the seasons, whatever season you're in, I want to encourage you to take one step to move ahead, and not to race to winter, but actually renew. And you can be in that spring time if you do the spring things. You do the spring things, you will be in the spring season.
Yes, I agree.
All right. Well, very good. Well, we are so excited and glad that you have joined us today, and we look forward to seeing you real soon. We hope you have a blessed week, and we'll catch you later.